All right, here we go. Chicken and waffles from where? Where is everyone? From White Castle. Chicken so and waffles. Kids in the back eating McDonald's, calm and steady.
Ooh.
There's a lot going on for a minute. All right, here we go. We're trying it.
Cute.
Here it is. Okay, the waffle looks not bad.
Like a hash brown.
Looks like a hash brown. You got chicken in the middle. That's and bacon in there. There's bacon in there. Here's Jess with the try.
Okay.
That thing is falling apart in our face. Those are the ones you like. There is a flavor there that Jess does not like them. Or maybe she is like them.
I don't know.
Buttermilk zone.
The waffle is very sweet.
Way better than I thought. Full review, marriage bites.
Oh my gosh, interesting.
It's heavy.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. Not bad, not good. Interesting. That's right, this is Marriage Bites, episode number 272. And I'm your host, Mike Biseglia. And I'm coming to you from my wife's living room area in Belford, New Jersey. Today we tried from, as you can see on YouTube, White Castle, not a burger, but chicken and waffles from White Castle. If you're listening on audio on Apple or Spotify, head on over to YouTube. Link is in the show notes. There you can see the food that we tried. You can watch this on video and check out some of the episode shorts that we have. And on YouTube, that's not like I'm literally wearing shorts, but we do these little mini videos. They're about 15 to 30 seconds long, where I'm videotaping Jess, my wife, order the food at the drive-thru, and then our reaction from our kids, Jess. And the White Castle one got like 300 views. But if you go in the archives, right before we picked up White Castle, we had two children melting down, and we got some McDonald's, and basically it used it to calm them, got their blood sugar levels down. But it's a great video. Watch it. But yeah, that was unbelievably helpful to see them eat. It made a huge difference in our lives.
And also our YouTube algorithm apparently
loves that. They love hungry children. Second time we actually go back to White Castle. The first time was a long, long time ago. This is, I want to say, during the pandemic or right before the pandemic.
No. I'm going to look it up in a second.
A long, long time ago.
But I think it was deep pandemic because I was pregnant, not super pregnant. And we had a delivery driver.
We did have a delivery driver. I'm positive of that.
I heard another podcaster. I guess I'm a podcaster now. I heard another podcaster talk about how they just forget absolutely everything they say as soon as the podcast is over. And I agree. Will honestly say, agreed. I listen to be like, oh, what did we talk about?
Yeah.
Don't know why. It just goes out of my head for some reason.
It is true because some of our fans will come up to me
and bring up things, and you're like,
and I'll be like, oh, when you said this, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. None. It's so fun. And the best is when someone's obviously listening at, 2 weeks from now, and they're just like giving you callbacks, and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't know. This show in particular, I found with the Bad Weather Fans Basketball podcast, I can remember moments a little bit better. Maybe because it's like hoops related, and there's a connection to something I saw, like on TV if I'm watching a game or something. But yeah, here, nothing. But I couldn't tell you anything.
In regards to that, we've done like well over 250 of these, or probably 225 or something, of like actually trying foods. I remember this one intimately.
I remember the photos.
White Castle. Oh,
because there's a photo of Leon the cat
sniffing it and
trying it. We'll have to dig up those photos.
Oh my god.
And I remember you did not like it. And if you remember then too, so if you're new to the podcast, when we originally did this, we tried the food. We had different rating system. It wasn't just a taste.
Yeah.
It was presentation,
heat factor,
and then taste. But heat factor meant was how well did this stay hot? But we were getting these things delivered, and I believe the White Castle was it was like East Orange to Bloomfield, and for people that might not mean anything, but it was like a 30-minute drive.
No. I remember what happened. there was an issue with the delivery, and they got held up for I want to say it was close to 90 minutes that it took.
Okay, now some of this is coming back to me. Is there on this episode my interaction with him talking? Because I think okay, now this is actually coming back to me a little bit.
Paused around Newark for like an hour.
I think what we did was, did we start recording before the food even got there?
Oh, we might have started recording, and then like when he got there,
we're gonna do like a live try. Something weird is coming back. Should we have listened to this beforehand? Well, you're the producer. It's probably your job.
Okay.
Something weird. I want to check that out.
It was the longest. Back in the day, we did occasionally have it delivered. It's kind of like the part of the process.
Yeah.
Not always, but just this was a weird pickup, and so
before it got really expensive.
Yeah, and I think we actually ordered one slider too, which is
and a soda,
insane.
Right, and they must have been like, "What is wrong with these people to get a $1.99 slider
and pay
$13 delivery fees plus a tip?"
And it took 2 hours.
Insanity.
No, it's
it's actual. Right, you have to be doing a podcast about it for something like that. You wouldn't just at that point. It's like, open up a can of cat food and just eat it.
Well, that's what it looked like. We had a Sloppy Joe slider. I still remember
the Sloppy Joe slider. That means that you and I have never yet had a burger.
Which is why I brought it up in the car when we talked about this. And I was like, I said, maybe we should have them give their best foot forward, which is just the slider. And I actually was at Trader Joe's today. Do you know they have like a knockoff version of it?
No.
They do. They have like their own. I want to say it's like a 3-pack or something. It looks exactly the same.
Now I'm having some FOMO that we screwed up and picked the wrong thing to try.
Well, that's not a terrible drive, and I think there's a couple.
We'll do it again.
Closer than that, and the menu's pretty extensive.
And the menu was extensive. Now they're known for their sliders. There's Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, which I think took White Castle, which by the way, they're in New Jersey when they are going to find the White
Princeton,
Castle.
Right?
They're Princeton. I think they live in Cherry Hill. They're a little more south.
That'd be a long drive.
But the point is, it is New Jersey. It's a New Jersey thing that White Castle, and people do like it. Now, I think it's like you're high and drunk, just like in that show. They're high,
in the broad daylight of a Saturday afternoon with 2 screaming toddlers in the pouring rain.
It was a little depressing. There was nobody there. We went to the drive-thru again. You can check that out on the Marriage Bites with Mike and Jess YouTube channel. But it was a little depressing in there, looking through and seeing in the drive-thru. That was a little sad.
The vibe.
It definitely wasn't like as exciting as I knock over this bag. Definitely wasn't as exciting as the Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
No, which I really love the beginning of that movie, and then it just goes off the rails for me.
It does. There's like 8 of them.
Halfway through.
There's like 8 of them.
There's such, Kumar, he was in the cabinet for Obama. Did you know that?
Did not.
Yeah. They just had him on, in his very first job of all time was a background actor on Boy Meets World.
He was in Boy Meets World?
He was just a dude in the background.
Oh, so it would be like impossible to recognize.
I think it's
I'd have
in the
to
one.
Really
Do you remember when they're on a game show?
Yes.
And like the hair, lips, and brain or whatever? Yeah, I think it's that episode.
Is he like in the crowd somewhere?
Yeah, he's in the crowd. This is his first job ever.
It is cool to me. So, like, for example, and this is off the rails a little bit, but so be it. Let's Boy Meets World in particular. There is who's the famous actor now that's the star of Severance?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott's in that, and he gets his first role in Boy Meets World. And, Adam Scott is a small actor in that, not one of the main stars. But now, looking back at that show, he's by far one of the most famous people to come from it. Not the main characters, if not the. I mean, he's one of the biggest TV star, movie stars in the world right now. As Severance is just dominating everything. And I just love it. Now you're talking about this story. I just love to hear about people when they're getting their starts and what they're doing, and then when it finally cracks. Because at the end of the day, it's other people making decisions about other people. And sometimes people are wrong. about people and don't give them their chance early. And sometimes it takes a little longer. When it does, it does. And I like stuff like that. And I think it's inspiring.
I totally agree. I was listening to a podcast about sort of that same topic this morning. And it was with really rather famous people. And they were just talking about how sometimes you just don't get a job because you're a little taller than somebody else.
Yep.
It has nothing to do, it's just a lot of circumstantial things. So,
yeah.
No, I really, I love the Pod Meets World podcast. And I was actually listening to that one today when you took the kids to the pet store.
And by the way, about Severance, we've talked about this here on the podcast.
Yeah, but Severance really fucked our Sunday night plans.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to say.
We've mentioned this before, but Bell Works, which is about 10 to 15 minutes away, depending on how traffic is, but legit that far away, that is where the show is filmed. I mean, that is the office. I would say, if you've seen the show,
even if you
50 to 60% of the show is in that building. And they turned the building into like Severance weekend, Lumen weekend. So the whole building, you couldn't really go in there unless you had tickets to the show, involved in the show, which I've seen people on Instagram that went, looked fucking unbelievable. I'm so jealous. But the problem was the weather was so shit. And, usually when it's bad weather, we like to take our kids
are
there.
Running around in there.
And it was like we couldn't go to, it was raining, and we couldn't go into Lumen because of what they were doing. And I was just like, fucking Severance.
It was just... It's April. You
Crazy.
want it to be warm. It's like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Monsooning the entire weekend. You just want to run the kids somewhere. Where you go? You go to Bell Works. And what is, if you watch Severance, it's very different than in reality. It's very, cold and stark and boring there. It is so vibrant and colorful and full of life.
Yeah.
And there's dogs and there's
it's a fun place.
People playing basketball and there's kids running around and balloons and I mean, it's still the same structure, but like it's very lively and vibrant.
Yeah.
So they wanted to tamp that down a little. I mean, because I think if people were like hardcore on the show and they came in and saw like a dog wearing a sweater and people playing basketball,
They set it up to look exact. I mean,
that's what I mean though.
They lumened it up.
In reality, it's such a different vibe than that. But I think if you didn't know that, maybe you'd think that's what it really looked like. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for
There's
sure.
like a gym in there, a library. There's a podcast studio. I saw people podcasting the other day because I like to go to work there.
It's a strange place.
You try to describe it to somebody and you're like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Get your hair cut, but also have a cocktail and work at a startup. I don't know.
By the way, we were not supposed to do White Castle. We were really close to doing lobster bisque from Red Lobster, but the weather got so shitty, and then we really wanted to do the drive-thru that we did not do it. I will say though, Jess, I do think for the pod and for the YouTube channel, watching. Now, we've been doing a lot of drive-thrus, but I think me filming you going into like a Red Lobster and interacting with the people that work at the Red Lobster and ordering could also be extremely entertaining.
We need to
also a little more, uncomfortable because I got to whip out my camera and hit record, where in a drive-thru you can get away with it a little bit better because you're talking to a speaker. But I'm going to film you ordering soup at Red Lobster.
Two things.
Go for it.
One was I thought I did not finish. Or as our son calls me, dude.
Hey, dude.
Is his new thing. Okay, dude. That's his thing. It is very funny. The pickup was so vastly different than KFC. That was last week, right? Was that 2 weeks ago?
Last week was... Was it the mashed potato poppers?
No, it wasn't. I just listened to it too.
Well, I fucked up too and didn't have it on camera.
Yeah, you didn't turn the.
Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Wait,
what was it? What was last week's meal?
I don't remember.
No, this is gonna bother me.
I know. I'm gonna look at. Oh,
no.
Yes.
It wasn't Applebee's. But we talked about Applebee's.
No,
merging.
you put Applebee's on the title card.
Yeah.
We sound like guys. We have been with our toddlers.
Trying my best.
Well, I guess Ryan's 4.5, so he doesn't consider himself a toddler anymore, and he looks at me.
I'm gonna get this. I am going to get this. it was something that we surprisingly liked more than we thought we would. Oh, it was the fiery fish sandwich.
Fiery fish sandwich. Yep, you're right.
Oh my God.
There's another Marriage Bites podcast. How to love your spouse more.
All right.
Improve your marriage one bite at a time. I don't know about
This
that.
is a little bit different.
Yeah. There's a little less Burger King.
Yeah. Imagine if somebody like is searching, oh, there's a great podcast. It's called Marriage Bites. It's really good for rediscovering the love with your partner.
Fuck pie.
Yeah. And then you turn it on and it's like, oh, yeah, I really need some help. My wife and I have been struggling. And I turned it on and the woman just said, her husband said, would you rather have cake or pie? And she just went on this podcast and she said, pie can suck a dick. And I wasn't expecting that, but it's really saved our marriage. So we got a pie, apple, beautiful pie from the store down the street.
And then
my husband put his drawers down and, I had a nice time with him. And now our marriage is doing well. So thank you to Jess and Mike.
People. It's like, oh God, saving marriages one pie at a time.
Yeah.
I guess they don't have to eat it then. I don't know. Anyway. Okay.
So you had a story you wanted to tell me?
Yeah, I was just saying the vibe of the last couple of pickups. Drive-throughs have been very different. Yeah. KFC, I was like, I want to work at this KFC in Hazlitt. They were having a blast. And like, they seemed like they genuinely enjoyed it. They were really like, there was like little worker bees. They were running all over the place, talking to each other. The guy at Burger King, so much shade when I didn't know that.
That was funny.
He was like, okay.
The videos are funny with the interactions because you're so bad at ordering.
I know. It's like I'm not a human.
And like, these people hate you.
I know.
And I'm loving it.
I know. It's awful.
Although this one was nothing to do with you. It was an automated machine of a woman that just sounded really excited.
They told us to wait for a while. Remember? So when I placed the order, they're like, hold on. First of all, there's nothing happening. And it was a few minutes. And then she came back and then it took a really long time to actually get the food. And we were like the only people there. It almost looked like the lights were off in there. It was very depressing. Okay, number 2 is Red Lobster. Well, one of the reasons we couldn't do shellfish is because
I got gout again, but it was fast and furious.
He's gouting. That's because I told you to get on the medicine before that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you like to really let those crystals get spiky before you go.
And salmon.
Yeah.
Really got me.
Yeah.
And I had shrimp on Saturday.
And then
we had fish on Monday. Then I had lox salmon on Thursday. Then I had a salmon roll on Friday.
And a beer.
And a beer on Friday. Not much alcohol. I'm realizing that the shellfish is more of the culprit than alcohol.
No, but those are all things that are high in purines.
Yeah.
Which is something I never thought I would ever talk to you about.
So if I did not have the medicine and instead had a weekend of like raw oysters and beers, I wouldn't be able to walk.
Those crystals would just be building. And if anyone ever wants to look at it, like under a microscope, it looks like a sea urchin or something. But it's scary. It's in your joints.
And there's an OG photo we have of this from the first time I got gout.
It looks like
which is like the best story ever.
A regulation-sized softball taped to his ankle.
I'll never forget it because we were living in Long Island. And
Long Island?
Hey, gotta do it. And I was taking the train, the LIRR, and I was working the Doug Gottlieb and Jim Rome shows. And I'll never forget, we had no kids way before kids.
I was on this for perspective, my first business trip of all time. And I've probably been on like 150 since then.
And I'm probably then, 31, 32?
I'm young 27. 30s. It was 2 weeks into working.
I'm young 30s. I'm probably 30 then.
No, you're not 30 yet. No, because you turned 30 during Gio and Jones. I know that.
That's not true.
Didn't you?
No, I turned 30 during Gottlieb and Rome.
Okay. Well, anyway, it was May 2013.
So then I was...
Oh, you were 30.
I was 30.
Exactly.
So the first time I had real bad gout was 30.
The week after you turned 30.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you probably...
I'm so old.
Oystered and bearded up that weekend.
But I remember getting off the LIRR, and I would always want to just get home so fast. I would just fly. I would jump. I would move. And I remember being like, "Ooh, I feel a little like walking down the steps." Ooh,
I remember you said you're like, because you were going to the New York Sports Club in the city. You're like, "Oh, I think I twisted my ankle or something."
And then I remember that that morning when I got up, I collapsed. I walked and collapsed, and I said, I don't know what this is. We went to the ER, and they didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, they just gave you crutches.
That was, in retrospect, shouldn't they have, like,
that was bad,
asked?
Like, really bad at being a doctor?
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. That was not good.
So you took me, but the thing was, you were leaving to go on a trip.
Like, that day or something?
And I was, like, so immobile that I remember, like, I couldn't get, the next day, I couldn't get off the train in time. This is a true story.
I respect that. Like, you have to be poised. I took the train this week. You have to be, like, ready to hop off that train. There is no mercy. There is no mercy.
But this was how sad it was. I missed it. Had to go down, come back, talk to the conductor, and tell him what happened with my gout, or with my mystery foot hurting, because I didn't know it was gout at the time, on my crutches, and it had, like, cost me an hour. And the other crazy part, I couldn't get in and out of the car. I was trying to walk up the crutches on this hill at the train station at Cold Spring Harbor. It was fucking miserable. And not knowing what was happening, Jess, I 100% was going home and drinking beer. It was me alone with no kids on a weekend and you gone. I don't remember exactly, but I guarantee you I was I remember I had a Coors Light on the train ride home because I was like, it's a Friday. I'm chilling. My foot hurts. I want a beer. No idea. I thought I sprained my ankle.
How is it feeling, though? Seriously, I haven't asked you.
It's good now.
Like, all good? Like,
ooh.
As you crack it into the mic, the sound?
I'm doing okay.
It feels better. It feels a lot better, actually.
Yeah, I cannot believe that was. I would say it looked like a baseball was attached to your foot, but it looked like a softball, not a baseball.
Oh man, we got to find those photos to share with people.
Speaking of which, Ryan got his baseball pictures this week.
Very cute.
It's so cute.
Very sweet.
Cute. Adorable.
What's the story you got?
All right, question for you. I have a fast food / chain food question.
Let's do it.
It's an article. So this came out this week. So you're thinking sit-down restaurants. Mm-hmm. I have the top 10 casual dining chains. The number one switch for the first time in like 15 years.
So casual, you mean like a Chili's or an Applebee's, not McDonald's.
Exactly.
Think I can name all 10?
That's what I wanted to ask you, and then I wanted to ask you which one you think is number one, because it is shocking to me.
Okay, so Chili's.
Yes.
You're gonna say what?
Yeah. So 3.
Applebee's.
4.
TGI Fridays.
Off the list.
Oh, okay. I know you said they were struggling. Red Lobster.
Yeah, 9.
That's 3. Olive Garden.
2.
So that's 4. Cracker Barrel.
No.
Golden Corral.
Nope.
Wow, still stuck at 4. Ruby Tuesdays.
No.
Shit, what is left? I'm like, Macaroni Grill.
Nope.
Are these places I should know?
Yeah, you've heard of all of these.
Is it places I go to?
I think legitimately, like probably 3 of them you've not said.
Okay, so it's places I've heard of. It's not
yeah, you've heard of all of them, but like actually going to, I think there's like 3 I could see you actually going to. Like
Red Robin.
Yes, number 10. That was not one of the ones I was thinking of.
5. Okay.
There's
Give me
1
clues.
on 35. There's 2 on 35.
IHOP.
No.
How's IHOP not on the list?
Well, it can't be doing that well if it's merging with Applebee's.
True. That's true. Okay. Fair point. You said there's 1 on...
One's a good place to watch football.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes. They just opened a new one by us, so we'll have to do that. That's
6. Sorry, more clues. I'm never going to get them without the clues.
It's hard to say.
Try your best. I don't know. Why are you friend? Panera Bread.
No rules, just right.
Panera Bread.
No.
Outback.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 6.
Stay in the Outback world.
So that's 6.
Number 1 is hard, like really hard. Like, I don't think you're gonna get it.
I was gonna say something, but I won't connect the dots back to an old part of this episode. Give me a clue for number one. What's something you would get to eat there?
Rolls.
Rolls. What do you mean rolls?
I think that's what they're known for. I don't know.
They're known for their rolls.
I don't know. Have we even been here? I don't know.
There's got to be what else would be on the menu?
Steak.
Is it Longhorn Steakhouse?
No, but you did miss that one. That's number 6.
Okay, so now that's.
And I'm gonna be honest. I thought the two of them were the same. I swear to God.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, is number 1.
Oh wow.
Have we ever done that? Are they known for rolls? What are they known for?
There's a Texas Roadhouse in Morgantown, right?
Probably. Is that one? Wait, what's the one over by Chili's? Is that Texas Roadhouse?
I think that's Oh no, maybe that is Texas Roadhouse.
I think they're the same thing. In my head, I swear to God.
What else is on the list?
The only thing you have missed is the Cheesecake Factory. Otherwise, you're good.
That's a good one.
All right, so here's the ones that
do them in order 10 to 1.
Okay.
Go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
10 is Red Robin, then Red Lobster. 9, Cheesecake Factory. 8, Outback Steakhouse. 7, Longhorn Steakhouse. 6, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Longhorn.
5.
Yeah.
I just didn't know they were different. I got to be honest. Applebee's 4, Chili's 3, Olive Garden 2, Texas Roadhouse 1. Texas Roadhouse 1 is stunning to me.
You're gonna have to look up.
You're
gonna have to look up what's down the street from us. I don't remember what it is. I think it's Texas Roadhouse.
I think it might be 2.
Which we tried their baked potato soup.
We drive past it at once to twice a day.
Oh, you have to go past it to get to Ryan's school in the morning.
You have to. There's no other way. So yeah, are you surprised by that?
Not really. Actually, I'm not just saying that to be double standard, man. I'm not surprised by that. People love that place.
Really? I feel like I've never heard anyone talk about it literally ever.
Well, I mean, I think it's always packed.
I mean, I would have thought the headlines are all Olive Garden has never been, it hasn't been usurped in 15 years. I think I would have thought it was, I know what I thought because I thought it would be Chili's. Because I feel like Chili's is having this massive
Chili's is making a
comeback.
We should do Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, it is known for their baked bread. I was like, I'm like,
yeah,
why?
That's right. We did try it because we tried it when we got the meal.
I'm just really what is it known for?
You know what's crazy is we probably did that 2 years ago.
Was it here?
Yeah, it was here.
Oh wow.
Remember we got the chicken fried steak, chicken fried chicken.
No. Again, we just do this podcast and it just drops out of our brains. So anyway,
I love that list though. That's really great. Thank you for sharing.
If you had to get something, you the gun to your head, you have to go to one of these places on this list. Where are you going? Where are you picking?
Like for a legit dinner?
True dinner.
Probably Cheesecake Factory.
Me too. I like it.
You know what's not on there that we have talked about wanting to do is the melting pot. Which is actually in Red Bank.
Is that too fancy? I
mean, it would make for great visuals of us getting a take-it-home melting pot kit.
Let me just give you the perspective on.
Although I don't know if they do pots to go.
They did the change in ranking per year. It's just sales dollars. So the ones that dropped were Applebee's, Outback, huge drop on Red Lobster, 25%.
Well, we knew about that. Remember their never-ending shrimp thing?
They went bankrupt because people ate too much shrimp, and then a little bit.
My foot would just.
Oh
fall
my
off.
God! No, it wouldn't fall off. It would balloon. It would be like the size of a couch cushion.
Would it? I mean, is there a way we could just test once I get gout and just punish my foot and see how bad?
No,
I
think the pain would be horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Chili's actually had the biggest jump. 15% growth in 1 year is huge.
So somebody there is getting a raise.
And then Texas Roadhouse was close to 15%. Longhorn and Cheesecake Factory are up. And
good list though, Jess.
So anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
I liked it.
I don't know if I would have guessed that Olive Garden was number 1. And I don't know if I would have. And I definitely thought Chili's seemed to be the natural.
I thought I had it with Olive Garden.
So there you go.
All right, let's review this thing. White Castle, chicken and waffles. We haven't really talked much about chicken and waffles at all, although I have been eating a lot of waffles.
Have you? You've legit ordered chicken and waffles, right, as a meal?
I'm sure I
feel
have,
like you have.
but not often.
Like brunch.
That would be something good for me at brunch because I hate eggs.
Yeah, brunch.
Like the one person's like, "Oh, eggs are so expensive." I'm like, couldn't tell you the difference. I haven't bought an egg my entire life. Not a joke.
I eat them for lunch almost every day.
But I mean, for me, it's a good thing because like when I was a kid, we would go places. You ever see steak and eggs on menus for breakfast? I would say, don't worry about the eggs. Just give me the steak. I would just get the steak.
That's so interesting. Weird.
So chicken and waffle is a good breakfast for me. You know when the last time I got chicken and waffles? I remember.
I feel like I remember you ordering it.
Yeah, and you're going to get so mad when I say what I'm about to say. You're going to get so mad.
Okay.
I got it after Nets Sixers when the Nets blew game 4. And then we went to Brooklyn, actually, ironically, the next day. And we went for brunch on a Sunday.
Oh, I got avocado toast. It was Easter.
It was Easter, which makes sense for the playoffs, I guess, because it changes. Nick Collison was in the restaurant. Shout out to Nick, who played against my Syracuse Orange in the finals against Carmelo. But the Sixers beat the Nets the day before, and I was so pissed.
That was a fun day.
That's the last time I had chicken and waffles at a restaurant.
All right, there you go. I remember. That was fun.
Yeah, that loss still.
We walked the Brooklyn Bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Brooklyn Bridge? Williamsburg Bridge? No.
Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, that was a fun little day.
Ben Simmons killed us. That's how long ago this was.
Oh my God! Shut up. Okay.
You remember what you did for lunch that day?
Didn't I get avocado toast?
No, on the Saturday.
No.
You went to your friend's wedding shower at the Italian place in Clifton next to the movie theater.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yes.
You impressed?
Sputino's? No, that's not
Something like that.
That place was cool.
I never went there.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I've been there a couple times. Okay, so there you go. You've had chicken.
Random
You've had chicken and waffles. So did you like it?
Oh well, do you want to go first?
No.
Okay. I did like it, and I got to be honest. I had such a bad taste in my mouth from last time we had White Castle because of how bad the Sloppy Joe sliders were. Although in my head I forgot until you just reminded me now that it was Sloppy Joe. I thought it was the burger, but regardless, I in my head was like, it was so bad and cold.
It
and
looked
nasty.
like cat food that had been regurgitated.
So in my mind I was like, this is going to be awful. So I think I lowered my expectations to begin with, which did help. But it was surprisingly good. I'll start with the chicken because I think the waffle has more to talk about. The chicken, we've talked about like the long chicken at Burger King. You've had those like fake chicken patties as a kid at middle school lunch.
I got to tell you, I fucking love those things.
But this chicken was actually chicken.
It was like a chicken tender. It was like a chicken tender.
It wasn't just
or a chicken
rib
cutlet.
meat
Yeah.
chicken. It was better than I thought. So I'll start on that part of it. And then to the waffle, I've been eating so many of these Trader Joe's waffles that I think I forgot that, waffles can be better. And it was sweet. It had a little texture on the outside. It kind of crumbled in a good way out of like feeling homemade. Very sweet and savory with the chicken. I thought biting into it actually worked. Surprisingly good. Didn't realize until we got home we had a dipping sauce, which was maple syrup. Smart, Mrs. Butterworth. What's up?
I have so much to tell you.
That I liked it. I'll give it an 8. It was shockingly good.
Okay. I didn't know you were gonna rate so soon, but okay, so per usual, I did a little research after we already tried it. I like to see what people say. I read a few reviews. I watched a couple of videos. Watched the first 2 videos, and I'm like, we got screwed because there was sausage gravy on the first 2.
I forgot there was bacon in this. I didn't even
mention
there was
bacon on it. Yeah, you didn't mention
there was bacon. The bacon was nothing special, but not bad. Just regular good old bacon. It doesn't change my score.
Okay, so I watched 2 videos, and they're like, there's just sausage gravy on the sandwich.
Maybe we didn't order it.
And then I go to the third one, and they're like, oh my God, what's happening here? It's just a dry piece of chicken, 2 dry pieces of bacon, and a waffle. And then they stopped. They did some research, and apparently the menu still says sausage gravy, but they stopped serving it in like 2018. So
why did they take it off the menu?
I don't know.
Is somebody at White Castle is asleep behind the wheel, and it's been on the website for 7 years?
I don't know if their attention to detail is like super high.
To have something on a menu for 7 years and not recognize it, that's almost impossible.
Well, it wasn't on the menu that we saw. I think it might have been on like the online menu or like the printout one or something.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, that's crazy.
So apparently the history is that they're now throwing in a Mrs. Butterworth to dip it in because people were like, it's so dry. So
okay.
I will say the consensus.
Okay.
I always like to kind of I read one article and watched 3 videos, and I think that your consensus is very similar to what they said. So the chicken itself, everyone was like, this chicken is better than I expected, especially because it's White Castle. And after that last experience, honestly, I was like worried about having anything with meat. Like it was really upsetting. And the waffle was extremely sweet. I will say I agreed with somebody said it was very crumbly. It was very crumbly.
It was crumbly, but I didn't mind that.
But you know what it tasted like to me? It was powdered sugar. Not sweetness, like just like general sweetness, but like my dad would always put powdered sugar on cereal when I was a kid, or like strawberries. He had a sweet tooth.
Strawberries, I get.
But like sugar that wasn't sweetened, cereal that wasn't sweetened, we'd put powdered sugar, which has a different flavor than like granulated sugar, and that's what it tasted like to me. It also reminded me of these little Italian like cookies that my family would make called soft. I don't know what they're really called, but they called them soft waffles, and they were like something you'd make at Christmas time, and they were a tiny sort of non-edged waffle, and this waffle didn't have an edge either. Did you notice that? It didn't have a shape. It wasn't like a circle, it wasn't a square.
No.
It was just like
it was very
a blob, but in the middle, like of if you were using a waffle iron, it was just like whatever you put in is what came out. And I was wondering if that was what took so long, because it seems like they actually might have made the waffle. Like it wasn't like an Eggo or anything.
No, it was a homemade.
Which I have to say, I love an Eggo. Like,
but I was happy. I thought it was better. I was happy to see that.
There was something though that I was like that I did not like, and I could not figure out what it was.
Well, so there was a little flavor.
Yeah, we took a bite of like the whole thing, and then I had to. This is my new thing has been to deconstruct it, and it was the bacon. The bacon had a weird tang to it. It had a weird. You didn't do that? No, I thought it was the waffle too. It was the bacon.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I had to deconstruct it, and honestly, there was something, and I was like, "Is this turkey bacon? Like, what is going on?" Bacon. There was a weird flavor that I did not like in that.
Interesting.
It would have been interesting to try the syrup with it.
Yeah, Mrs. Buttersworth.
But like, I would say overall, it was better than I expected.
So, what are you scoring?
I'm gonna go a 6. That feels right.
I liked it a lot more than you then. I mean, I finished it.
The bacon was off-putting me. There was some flavor in there that I was really. It was
but better than overall. Like you would take the experience.
Like an herb and a spice, which just was not.
But if we're nuancing about an herb and a spice and a bacon, as opposed to like unedible
cat food. Yeah, no, I think having it hot.
I gotta find those
in the car was also really helpful too.
I kind of want to find them on my phone right now.
Honestly, I thought the chicken was great.
Yeah, the chicken was
really, really good. The waffle was interesting. It was very homemade. I was like,
that sounds like you should be getting a higher than a 6.
The bacon really took it down a notch for me, and it was dry. It was dry.
Okay. All right. Just getting defensive.
All right. Defensive. I mean, I could push to a 6.5, but you're
no. I'm not going to make you push. I'm not going to make you push. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Good review.
I agree.
So that was fun. I had a nice time. It was a good date.
I did not have a nice time on that drive, but
no, definitely not that.
The kids were bad.
Again, you want to see it? Marriage Bites. Go to YouTube channel Marriage Bites with Mike and Jess. You can check it out. It's fun doing this because when we're learning about people that are listening to this and they're very surprised to hear the things that come out of our mouth. Yeah. What was the best thing you ate this week, and then the strangest food moment you had? Best thing you ate this week.
Best thing I ate this week. So the best thing I ate this week was I went to Little Spain, which is, what is that building that looks like a like a honeycomb on the
I don't know the name
Midtown
of it, but
West
in New York City.
Yeah, so Little Spain.
I'm going on our Instagram
at
feed
the
real
bottom
quick to find this
of
photo.
a fancy building by the Peloton Studios by Javits Center, and I had it. So it basically was like a Spanish market, which we have actually been to in Spain before.
Yes.
It looked exactly like that, but it was like underground in a very fancy mall. And I had a make your own Spanish salad. So like it wasn't like a sweet greens. You could do manchego cheese and anchovies and literally just stuff that you can get in Spain. So I made my own salad with like avocados and olives and all these things. And I was like, what is the best dressing you have? They're like, this mojo rojo. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is. It was the greatest salad dressing I've had in my life, and I've had thousands and thousands and thousands of salad. I need to find this mojo rojo. And
sounds good.
I know that's so stupid, but this salad dressing was, it kind of tasted like if you had a great smoky barbecue but cut it with like something creamy. It was amazing. I did not have any shameful moments this week of eating, other than back to Bell Works. I did get a chicken sandwich. It was called, oh God, I don't know. Yeah. Chopped chicken sandwich or something there in this awesome Israeli pita. There was like an entire rotisserie chicken in this thing. I had to sort of deconstruct it in public because I just could not eat it. It was very oily and it was a large amount of food. So basically dumped the pita out and then scooped up the pieces of chicken I wanted with the pita and then left all like the dark meat.
You liked it though?
It was great. It was just really heavy and greasy.
Sounds delicious.
It was. The flavor was amazing.
Best thing I had this week, I think the dinner you made last night.
That was my second.
Yeah.
I made drunken noodles from scratch. Something I've never done before.
So good.
Yeah, we went to the Asian market to even get all the stuff. Which is a fun experience.
Second was the salmon roll from Sono. That was my appetizer.
Yes.
Weird food combination for me this week. Probably just eating some of our kids' meatballs off their plate. And not telling them.
I cannot eat off their plates. I know it's like a big thing for parents, but like, do they see where those kids are sticking those fingers? It was
before they actually started.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I would not. You could not pay me to eat the scraps off their plates. Like, truly, I would not eat that. They are disgusting.
I've done it. It does. I think it's helped my immunities. Yeah, I'm not lying.
I mean, you're just diversifying those T cells and B cells, which is what I talk about at work all the time. Yeah. So you gotta, I guess,
not cake and pie.
I do not live. Yeah, I do not. Yeah, I do not talk about that. I do not practice what I preach in that aspect of diversifying your immune system.
So you meant cake and pie. You don't practice what you preach.
No.
Marriage Bites, episode 272.
Now that I know who's listening, I'm like, man, I really can't go in. I have more questions about the pie can suck a dick thing, like practically how that works. But
hey, man,
we can talk about that at Marriage Bites After Dark.
But Marriage Bites After Dark, yeah, that's just called going to bed. Let's be real. Episode 272. Don't forget, people, go to YouTube, find the channel. You can see all these great videos we've been talking about. You can see when we try the chicken and waffles in the car. We consumed it there. You can find that on YouTube as well. We appreciate everybody, all the support. Subscribe to the channel. Once we get to 50 subscriptions, we can go live. Did you know that?
No.
We're at 34. So once we get to 50, we'll definitely try the food live one day.
All right.
But we got to get there. All right, this has been Marriage Bites, episode 272. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.